Hey, Coach, welcome to another live stream here with me, Sha-day Johnson. I'm so excited to be talking tonight about 3 steps to creating a profitable coaching program. And I'm just realizing that, hold on. Okay, sorry, something weird was going on with the chat. So, I'm so happy you're here with me tonight. I feel like it's been a while since I've gone live, even though it's only been like 2 weeks. But tonight I'm going to be sharing actually what I covered in day 1 of a challenge that I held months ago called the Back End Blueprint Challenge. And day 1 was all about how to create a coaching program that is actually going to sell. So if that is something that you have been challenged with, then that's definitely going to be, you're going to get the answer tonight of how you can do that. So let me know in the comments where you are watching live from, or if you are watching the replay. And what I actually want to do is go into the Automated and Abundant Coaches Facebook group and tag everyone so that way everyone knows that I'm live, because you know how sometimes the algorithm just doesn't work in your favor. So I want to make sure that everybody is going to see this. And if you're watching this, somewhere else, like maybe you're on YouTube, feel free to go over to the Automated and Abundant Coaches Facebook group. So that is where a bunch of awesome coaches are gathered together, learning about the tech and stuff in their business. So, okay, I found it. I'm going to go ahead and tag everyone so that way we can go ahead and get started. And I can share with you all of my juicy tips on how to create your profitable coaching program. Hi, Lakeisha. So good to see you. Thank you for joining me. I'm always so happy to see you joining live. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Lakeisha, I remember you were actually at my Back End Blueprint Challenge. And so this information is going to be familiar to you, but every live is always different. You just never know like what's going to come up, So I'm sure this will still be helpful for you. Let me go ahead and share. Let's see. Do I want to share the whole window or just the tab? I think just the tab will be good. So let's do that. And then I'm going to present. Gotta love my Canva. If you're not using Canva, what are you using? I'm like, what are even the alternatives? So today we are going to get clarity on what type of coaching program you actually want to sell and how you will deliver it so you can have the ultimate VIP day or VIP client experience. Well, you might offer VIP days. I'm going to go over that in a minute. So there are 3 steps to creating profitable programs. Like I mentioned, this is super important before you even get into, setting up tech and figuring all the back end stuff out. You got to have something to sell. And I'm just realizing that I might not have introduced myself. So I'm Sha-day Johnson, and I am the tech strategist for coaches. And I specialize in teaching you how to streamline and automate your business using my favorite tech tools. So like I mentioned, before you even get tech set up, you need to have something to sell. And, I wanted to bring this information to you guys because I get a lot of questions, in my DMs or even just in the group about, well, how do I find clients and how do I, do all that? So I'm going to be creating some resources soon about sales specifically. It's funny because I don't consider myself like a sales expert, but at the same time, I do make sales. So it's like, well, I guess I'm kind of good at it. So I know that is like a pain point for a lot of coaches. So I'm going to be creating some resources for you soon. So stay tuned for that. And like I said, if you're not inside of the Facebook group, then you need to be, because that's where I usually share all the information first, that or my email list. So let's go ahead and get into this. What are the 3 steps? So first, you are going to want to create your ideal client avatar. Okay, super, super important. When I first started out, I started out as a virtual assistant like 3 years ago now, over 3 years ago. And, when you start out, you're just like, I just want to work with everybody, anybody who needs my help. And then you start to realize that that's not actually a good marketing strategy, because you want to actually have a specific group of people that you are talking to or marketing to. And that is what is going to actually attract people to wanting to work with you. So, for example, when I started out, I was like, oh, I just want to work with any entrepreneur. But then after lots and lots of iterations, I narrowed down, oh, actually, I really love coaches. Coaches are amazing. And it felt like it had a deeper meaning for me to actually want to work specifically with coaches versus just all entrepreneurs, because I love the work that coaches are doing. I see that they're like making the world a better place. Specifically, I'm really passionate about women having businesses and women having, financial independence and wealth and all of that. So I wanted to make sure that my business aligned with something or someone that basically aligned with my values. So I found eventually that, oh, coaches are my people. And so I had to learn, like, well, how do I talk to coaches? What do they need? What, all that stuff. So I say all that to say, creating an ideal client avatar is going to be so, so important. And so I see people are joining on or hopping on. Hello. Let's see. We have someone from Cali. I'm in Cali too. Welcome. I love to see that. It's looks kind of muggy outside right now. Usually it's like sunny California, but I don't know what's going on with that. But obviously, we're getting into the winter months, so I guess. Okay. So what is an ideal client avatar? Well, Forbes.com says that in marketing, an avatar is a little fiction, like a little story that helps us understand who our ideal customers are so we can more easily find them. And like I said, when I just said, oh, I just want to work with all entrepreneurs, where am I going to look for that specifically? All entrepreneurs, where are they? Versus if you narrow down, okay, I want to work with coaches. Well, now I have information where it's like, okay, well, where do coaches hang out? Are they in Facebook groups? Are they on Instagram? Are they on TikTok? Is there some sort of, news publication that they read regularly and I can get myself in there so they can learn more about me? Once you have, create this little story about who they are, it's going to make it so much easier for you to actually find them so that you can become visible to them and they can hire you. So, for example, let's say you're a life coach who wants to work with women. Okay, your ICA or ideal client avatar will define the characteristics about that specific woman, such as how old is she? Where does she live? Does she have a job, or has she already started a business? Maybe she has both. How far did she get in school? What's her favorite TV show? What does she do with her free time? This is a good one. What keeps her up at night? And what's the next big goal that she's working on? Now you can see how narrowing down from just, oh, I'm a life coach that wants to work with women. Well, it's like, well, what woman? What women? I'm a woman, but I'm in my 30s. Do you only work with women, or do you primarily work with women in their 50s? Like, I know we have Marissa in this group who works with boomers. So it's like, I'm not going to be an ideal client for her, but boomers will be. So she has to know, how old is this woman? Where do they live? What types of things impact their daily life? So that way you know exactly where to find them, and more importantly, how to help them, right? So let's see. Hello, Rami. Good to see you. Or I'm sorry, it's Remy. Remy Michael. Nice to see you. And someone says, wow, love this. And you're just getting started. Oh, absolutely. I'm just getting started. I got a bunch more slides coming. So when you're writing that little fiction or that little story, these are all the questions, or there's just a baseline of questions that you want to include. And you're just going to open up a little Google Doc, or, write it down in your journal of who this person is that you want to work with, that is your ideal client. Okay. Now, the more specific you can get, the better, because then you can actually visualize who you are talking to while you are creating your coaching package. And there's a bonus tip here where it's also super helpful to imagine talking to this ideal client avatar whenever you're writing captions for your social media posts. So um, I know that when I first started out, and sometimes even now, I'm not gonna lie, it's an art, okay? But when you're writing posts, you're just like, oh, I don't know what to say. I don't even know what the angle should be. What, are people even reading this? And trust me, people are reading it, even if they're not liking or interacting with it, they're still seeing it. And how many times are you scrolling through your, through Facebook, and you're not necessarily liking a post, but you're still reading it and it's still having an impact on you? Maybe you're not commenting on it, but it still is speaking to you. That is so important. And that is why you have to have that, this little story that you write out, because you're going to be writing those captions, and the person that's reading it, they're going to instantly know, like, ooh, she's talking to me, or no, that's not for me. And that's what you want. In the beginning, we're usually so afraid of, oh, well, I don't want to, say the wrong thing, or I don't want to scare people away. But you do. You absolutely do. You want to attract the ideal people who you want to work with, and repel the people who are not a good fit for you. I'm not saying you're going to be like repelling them as in like saying you hate them or something, but you're basically saying, oh, these are the people I want to work with. So if you're saying I want to work with a woman who, is in her 50s, then your posts are going to be catered to that person, and not a man who's in his, 30s, So if you're getting this so far, then type out ICA in the comments if this is making sense so far. Okay. Just ICA, ideal client avatar. Now, here are a few tips for defining your ideal client. Your first ideal client, I'm sorry, defining your ideal client avatar. So your first ICA, awesome. Someone says they get it. Oops, I just did a little star on there. I didn't mean to do that. Thank you for commenting, ICA. Your first ICA will actually probably look like you, because you're most likely coaching from your own experience. So if you're a life coach helping women in their, who are retired, it's probably because you're now retired or have gone through that, sort of transition. And so you're going to know exactly what they're going through. So your ICA, just write a little story about yourself. Okay. And it's totally okay if this evolves over time. And actually it will evolve over time. Okay. I started out with my first ICA, like I said, just, all online, all entrepreneurs. And then I narrowed it down to like, well, it has to be online entrepreneurs, because I was dealing with a lot of tech stuff. And I was like, I want to work with people who have an online business. But then, like I said, I narrowed it down to coaches because it just felt the most aligned. So it does evolve. And it's still evolving for me. And then also talk to them. Arguably, this should have been the first tip. This is not in any specific order, but I should have put this first. You have to talk to them, AKA conduct market research. I am telling you, that will make so much of a difference in your experience as a business owner. I wish I would have done this sooner. I did not do this starting out. And looking back, it's honestly it was because of fear. I had a fear of visibility. We don't have to go into all that. I worked this out with the first coach I hired, but she helped me to see all of the limiting beliefs that I had and the visibility issues that I had. And when I look back now, I'm like, oh, Sha-day, you had nothing to worry about. Like, you'll be fine. So you want to conduct market research, because when you are actually talking to these people, and I mean talking to them as in over a Zoom call or a literal phone call, not oh, fill out this survey. No, literally talk to them, hear their voice, because when people are talking, it's different than when they're typing. When you're talking to someone, they're not editing themselves. They're not, pushing backspace and saying, "Oh, I don't want to say that." They're telling you they're going to say the first thing that comes to their head and comes to mind, and that's usually the thing that they mean. So when you're conducting your market research, you are going to be asking them questions that are framed regarding your program that you want to offer. So I can maybe do a different live stream all about that if you want, but conduct some market research, okay? Now, some more tips are you're going to create a Google Doc or a Microsoft Word document, and you're going to write out your ideal client avatar. And it's good if it's digital, because then you can update it easily as you discover more about them. So as you're conducting more market research calls, or just learning about people in general, or learning about them in general, you can update that document. And don't stress over this, okay? It's totally fine, like I said before, to just come up with one that's probably going to be some very similar to who you are, and just get going, okay? Because clarity will come over time by taking action. I cannot emphasize that enough. We often get stuck in analysis paralysis or procrastination or fear of visibility, sometimes fear of success. You have to take action, and that clarity will come as you're working with clients. I promise you. All right. And Miss Deidre, hi Deidre. She says, this is great advice. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm so happy you're able to join live tonight. All right. So step number 2, the second step in creating your profitable coaching program, is you want to get clear on the outcomes that you provide. Okay. Super important. Now, your coaching program needs to be the solution to a problem that your ideal client has, because you're actually not just selling coaching. You're not saying, "Oh, I coach. I'm selling my coaching package." You are selling a transformation. Okay. So if you're a life coach, you're obviously helping people get their life together, but more specifically, maybe you help, let me see. If you're a life coach, maybe you are helping someone get through their divorce or get through their life post-divorce. Maybe you're helping someone find their soulmate. I know we have someone in here who does that. If you're a business coach, maybe you're helping them at the start of their business. So you're helping them go from no business at all to finding their first client, or you're helping them go from 0 revenue to 5K a month, or you're helping them go from 5K a month to scale to 50K a month. You are selling a specific transformation. So here are the types of coaching programs that you can sell and that are profitable. One-on-one coaching. One-on-one coaching, I see a lot of different variations of this. Sometimes people just sell a one-off session, or they'll sell, a little bundle of like 3 sessions. I shouldn't say what I personally like, because obviously I might not be your ideal client avatar. So that is something that you want to define. Does this person need ongoing support at a minimum of 3 months? Do they need a whole year working with you? You can define that for yourself. But typically, just generally speaking, a minimum of 3 months is what's going to actually deliver a transformation. Typically, if someone just meets with you one time, you're just like hitting the tip of the iceberg of what they actually need. And so I find that it delivers better results if you're working with them for at least a 3-month or more time frame. But again, this is totally up to you and what your ideal client needs. You could also sell group coaching. And often you start off with the 1-on-1 coaching. You prove that you can actually get those results with your one client, and then you can transfer over to delivering that same result to a group. There's also 90-minute intensives. So depending on what your niche is, you might be able to make that transformation in 90 minutes. That's totally possible. I've seen that. For example, if you're a business coach and you're helping someone, to kind of maybe get their business more defined or get clarity on like a certain area of their business, sometimes that can be done in a 90-minute intensive. Then there's also the half day or full day intensives. And then there's also the course and coaching hybrid. So this is actually the very first coaching program that I signed up for was a course/coaching hybrid. Or I should say course/group coaching hybrid. I didn't even know that at the time. I just, I signed up because I was like, yes, this is exactly what I need, because I was just getting my business up and running and all that. And so it was really cool because, she created this course that we could go through, from week to week. But then we also met, I believe it was weekly. It might've been every other week. I can't remember right now, but we met regularly. With the group and got our questions answered. And so it was just a very good experience for me. All right. Now, crafting your program. Here are some questions that you want to consider when you're actually creating the program. What would really light you up to help your clients with? And then you also want to consider, do I need to create a curriculum, or will the content that I have in each session, in each coaching session, be more free flowing? So a lot of times clarity around this is going to happen when you're just actually start working with clients. So you might think that, oh, I don't need a curriculum. I'm just going to, let it flow and just, get on the sessions and figure it out. And then as you're working with clients, you might think, maybe I do need a little more structure and actually do need to create some sort of curriculum. So that's totally fine as well. Whatever you decide, the nice thing is that this is your business. So you can do whatever you want. And like I said before, taking action will bring you so much clarity. Also, you want to consider what type of program would you truly love to deliver? Because the last thing you want to do is create something that you hate doing, right? We're creating our businesses for freedom, for, fulfilling our passions, for fulfilling our purpose. And so you want to love what you're delivering, don't end up creating something that you hate just because you saw somebody else doing it. Also, you want to consider how much time do you actually want to spend working with people? So do you actually want to do the 3-month minimum? Do you actually want to do a whole year? Because once you're in that year, you might not be able to get out of it contractually. So you want to consider how much time do you actually want to be spending with your people? And you want to consider how much time can I reasonably devote to clients each week? Okay, so take a good look at your availability and how much makes sense for the lifestyle that you actually want to create. And lastly, you want to ask your ideal clients which packages or programs resonate with them the most when you're conducting that market research. So one of your market research questions can be, oh, hey, I'm considering creating this, 3-month program versus this 6-month program. It's going to include XYZ, which one it appeals most to you. And that's super important. Going back to the ideal client avatar, if you're working with, let's say, single moms versus someone who's retired, who do you think has more time on their hands to spend coaching? So you want to consider that when and ask that in your market research so that you actually create something that will sell because it makes sense for your ideal client. Okay, so that brings me into, will it actually sell? So we want to create programs that people actually want to buy. Unfortunately, I learned this the hard way at the beginning of my career, or not career, but beginning of my business, when I just thought like, oh, of course someone's gonna want this. I'm just gonna create it and start pitching it to people, and then you get crickets. And I was getting crickets because I didn't do market research. So once I did market research, specifically for the course that I created, Power Up with Paper Bell, it actually sold because I put in there what people actually wanted. So ask yourself the following to know if you have a profitable program idea. First question is someone already selling it? I know it sounds weird because so often we think, oh, we have to reinvent the wheel. We have to create something totally unique and totally different. That's not true. It doesn't mean copy what someone is doing. It just means if someone's already selling a type of program that you see yourself selling, and you see that they're having success with it, go with it. Go with it because that means there is actually a market for it. Okay, so the third step in creating your profitable coaching program is to decide how you will actually deliver your program. So here are some things to consider. One, will you be coaching in person or virtually? A lot of people, especially post-pandemic or since the pandemic, are coaching virtually. However, because things are, slightly improving, I see a lot of in-person events coming back. So you just want to consider you can do in-person, virtually. Maybe you're going to do a combination of both. How will your clients schedule sessions with you? As you know, since I am a tech strategist here in the Automated and Abundant Coaching or Coaches Facebook group, you know that I love some automation. So highly recommend you find a calendar scheduler so that clients can just automatically schedule time with you without you having to go back and forth in DMs or emails, saying, what time do you want to meet? Oh, what time zone are you in? And figuring all that out. You also want to consider, will you offer documents like PDFs or recorded videos? So are you actually providing content to someone who works with you, or is it just coaching sessions where you're meeting and talking through what they need? Also, will communication be offered outside of your sessions? So I actually love the app Voxer. And I don't even remember how I first found out about Voxer. I wish I did, but I use Voxer with like my friends, but also I use it with coaches that I've hired. And it is awesome because I'll meet with them one-on-one or, maybe in a group setting over Zoom on, let's say it's on a Monday, but then Wednesday, ooh, I'm stuck. I have a question. I'm spiraling. I need help. What do I do? I'm just going to send them a Voxer message. And Voxer is like a kind of like a walkie-talkie app. And it's helpful because you don't need someone's like personal phone number to basically send them a message. And so you can send them a voice note with Voxer, or you can send them a text message with Voxer, and they don't actually have to have your phone number, which is, I think, an awesome tool. So those are some things to consider. Now, tools to consider. I had to add this in because I am the tech strategist. So for virtual coaching sessions, I definitely recommend Zoom. Zoom obviously soared to popularity post 20 or in 2020. But I also like Zoom because since it's so popular, it integrates with a lot of different tools like Paperbell, which is my favorite tool for coaches. So there are other platforms you can use to meet with your clients, but I just find that Zoom is the easiest because pretty much everybody knows about it and it integrates well. If you're creating documents, I would recommend Google Docs or Canva. And if you're going to be creating videos, you can use your cell phone, especially if you have an iPhone. I even hear I don't really know about Androids, but I've heard, some Androids have decent video quality depending on what you use or what phone model you have. But you could also just use your webcam that's on your laptop. There's also a cool app called Loom, which allows you to screen record, and also like you screen record, but you can also have your face in the video or not. There's Vimeo, which allows you to like upload videos if you don't want to use YouTube. And then there's YouTube. I am a YouTuber. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. But with YouTube, you can upload videos that are public so everyone can see them, or you can mark them as private so that only people who have that link or who you share that link with will be able to view it. So that's like the cheaper alternative than using Vimeo. I think Vimeo is free, like up to a certain point. But then if you pass that point and you don't want to pay, then you could just use YouTube. Some other tools to consider. So for communication outside of your coaching sessions, I already mentioned Voxer, which I love, or you can just do email. I should also add to this, sometimes Facebook DMs or Instagram DMs are the way that coaches want to, coaches want to communicate. I would prefer DMs though to be more of talking with leads versus talking with actual clients, but that's just me. Because that's what I do. Like I talk to a lot of leads in Facebook DM, but then use email or Voxer with actual clients. And then for your scheduling, remember I said you gotta have a calendar scheduler so that you can automate that. You can use a standalone scheduler like Calendly. And by standalone, I mean it's pretty much the only thing it does. I know that Calendly now has like some extra features, but when it was first created, it's a standalone scheduler, which I love Calendly. However, my true love is the all-in-one tool, Paperbell. And so if you're in this Facebook group, then you know Paperbell is my fave. And Paperbell is the all-in-one tool that handles scheduling, but also payments, contract signing, and client management for your coaching business. So it is going to, if you're using Paperbell, you're now not going to have to use Calendly because the scheduling component is included with Paperbell. So your payments are taken care of. Contract signing is taken care of. So if you're using a standalone contract signer such as DocuSign, you can cancel that subscription. No hate to DocuSign, but now it's going to be integrated with this tool. So you'll save some money and it's going to be just a way more streamlined, what's the word I'm looking for? Experience for your clients. And it includes the client management portion, which means when you're using Paperbell and your clients are getting added to it, each client is going to have their own profile so that you can go in and add any notes to it, to their account. You can share documents with them. You can share videos with them. They have their own portal that they can log into. It's awesome. So if you want to get started with Paperbell, you can use my affiliate link, which is sha-dayjohnson.com/Paperbell. And that is where you can get started for free with your very first client. Let me see if I have that link here. Yeah, here it is. So sha-dayjohnson.com/Paperbell. You can start for free with that link. And yeah, it's awesome. So let me check in on the chat because that was, I think, my last slide. Let's see. Someone says, yeah, heard good things about Voxer. Got to check it out. Yeah, you should. It's free. There is a paid plan, but basically the paid plan, if I'm recalling correctly, because I haven't looked at their screen or their pricing in a while. The pay plan is like if you want to save your history because your history only lasts for like 30 days. So if you really want to save like all of your client information, which you probably should, then you have to pay for it. But you can get started for free for sure. And it's awesome. I love it. So let me know if anyone else has any other questions. You can add them into the chat now so I can answer them live. Or if you're watching the replay, you can ask your question and I will get back to it when I'm back in the group or, checking my notifications. So that is the last slide. That is the 3 steps to creating a profitable coaching program. Let me stop sharing. Now, one thing, okay, it's really dark in here now. Okay. I didn't even realize it looked like it's so dark back there. I need to figure out my lighting situation for behind me because when I turn on that lamp, it's just like a big blaring light and I just don't like how that looks in the video. And now it's starting to get darker earlier. So like my window, even though it's open, it's not giving me my sunshine like usual. So anyway, not important. But how did I want to close this up? Oh yeah. So like I mentioned in the beginning, this particular lesson that I just shared was something that I went over inside of my back end blueprint 4-day challenge. Okay. And so during that challenge, there was 4 days, and actually I'm going to share exactly what they are with you right now. Let me see. Let me share my screen again because you can get access to all 4 days. Because if you love this first day, then you're going to love the following 3 days. Okay, share. So if you want to access the replay, you can go to shadayjohnson.com/BB replay. Let me put it on the screen because here we go. And it's BB like back end blueprint. So there's the link there. Now, what we covered in the 4 days is day 1, it's creating your dream coaching program, which I just shared with you. Sorry, there's like a gnat in here. That's annoying. Day 2, we went over creating a client onboarding workflow that you and your future clients will love. So we're going to walk through all of the steps in the onboarding process and actually learn how to automate it so you can save a ton of time. Day 3, you pick your behind the scenes tech tools. I share my exact framework that I love for coaches so that you can actually sell your coaching programs to your dream clients with 0 tech headaches. And then day 4, we go over how to sell your programs while keeping up with existing clients. This is where I find that coaches get really overwhelmed, which is natural because you start bringing in clients and then all of a sudden you're like, crap, how do I keep up with these clients but still actually sell and keep my pipeline full? And, because your program only lasts for so long, so you got to keep your leads coming in. So we're going to ditch the overwhelm, get organized while creating your low effort back end system for keeping your current clients happy while still bringing in those new ones. And I know that there's some people on the call or on this live who attended the back end blueprint challenge. So if you happen, or at least I think they are, if you're on this call, share your experience. Why do I keep saying call? If you're on this live, share your experience. So that way people will know that, yes, it's amazing. And like I said, you can go to this link that's on your screen here to go ahead and get the replay of that all 4 days. And it's just $9. Now, see, someone says, oh, no worries. You look amazing. Thank you. I appreciate that. Maybe it's, mysterious, like my dark room and bright light on my face. Like I kind of shocked myself, like, whoa, this light is really bright. Jump scare. All right. Ooh, my teeth look really white though. So that's awesome. I've been working on that. I've been doing some teeth things. What? I'm sharing way too much personal information right now. So anyway, thank you so much for joining me. Like I said, you can go ahead, get the copy of, I'm sorry, I'm really goofy and I'm doing too much right now. Okay, so get your copy of the Back End Blueprint 4-day challenge. I hope to see you come through in my notifications showing that you are taking that challenge. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I will definitely get to them when I check my notifications later. And thank you so much for joining me. I'll be live again next week, Wednesday at 6 p.m. No idea what I'm talking about yet. So if you have any requests, anything you want to learn about automation, tech tools, streamlining your business, paper bill, Voxer, anything like that, just let me know inside of the Automated and Abundant Coaches Facebook group. All right. I'll talk to you soon.